Indian women embracing combative military roles. As the world celebrates International Women's Day today, Indian women too are working shoulder to shoulder with their male counterparts, even excelling them in some spheres. This year's International Women's Day theme, Embrace Equity, certainly strengthens our resolve to embrace a world free of bias, discrimination, and gender inequality. From the days of Rani of Jhansi to modern day Usha Kiran, youngest female CRPF officer, Bharatiya Nari Shakti has broken gender barriers in almost every sphere of life, whether science and technology, politics, sports, and even space. After their induction into the defense forces some decades back, lately the women have even taken a combatant role in the Indian Army. Once a male bastion, inclusion of women in the armed forces have been earlier limited only to nursing, communications, logistics, and other service arms. In lieu of PM Modi's vision to boost India's strength by inducting women in the armed forces, a special selection board in January this year was announced for making the lady army officers eligible to command units in their respective arms and services. Though in the past few years, the Indian military has witnessed an almost threefold increase in the strength of lady officers. Their recent appointments to the commander level posts and finally induction in fighting arms has come as an achievement of sorts. Now from commanding units to flying fighter jets and heading combat missions abroad, women are making their presence felt in the forces. In a historic milestone in 2016, 3 female combat pilots, Squadron Leader Avni Chaturvedi, Flight Lieutenant Mohana Singh and Squadron Leader Bhavna Kant were inducted into the Indian Air Force Fighter Squadron. Bhavna Kant is also credited for being the first Indian woman to qualify for a combat mission in a fighter jet. Kant did her first solo flight on the supersonic jet fighter MiG-21 Bison in 2018. She also had to her credit being the first woman fighter jet pilot to take part in Republic Day Parade in 2021. To add to the strength of Indian Navy, for the first time, 2 women officers, Sub-Lieutenant Kumudini Tyagi and Sub-Lieutenant Riti Singh, were selected as airborne tacticians to operate from the deck of Indian Navy warships in 2020. In the same year, after undergoing a stringent selection process, Flight Lieutenant Shivangi Singh became the first woman pilot to fly Rafale fighter jet. Captain Zoya Agarwal in 2022 grabbed the world's attention after becoming the only human being to get a place at SFO Aviation Museum in United States. She was felicitated because of her historic achievement in flying above the North Pole, covering a record-breaking distance of 16,000 kilometers. From becoming fighter pilots to serving on frontline warships, another woman officer, Captain Shiva Chauhan, shattered more glass ceilings in January last month after she became the first ever woman to be operationally deployed at the world's highest and coldest battlefield, Siachen Glacier. Adding more such firsts, girl students were admitted for the first time in Sainik schools during the academic year 2018-19. Currently, all 33 Sainik schools in the country have a total of 335 vacancies reserved for girl students. To bring an end to another gender wall, which had been a male bastion since its inception, the Supreme Court of India in 2021 broke the 65-year-old tradition and allowed the induction of female candidates in the National Defence Academy. During India's recent rescue and peace Operation Dost in earthquake-hit Turkey and Syria, the National Disaster Response Force rescuers team had 5 women personnel who did a commendable relief and rescue works in such difficult circumstances. It had a positive impact on the locals, who acknowledged the female officers and praised them for their efforts bringing a good name to the country. PM Modi has been very right when he said that women power will strengthen our armed forces. Certainly, India today stands even more stronger in terms of safety and security.